On this Nintendo Switch Hauled episode, we're checking out Nintendo's Mario Kart Live Circuit, some adorably tiny yet capable controllers, 8BitDo's new yet retro arcade stick, and much more. This is Sergio AM. Welcome to It Came From a Box. One thing I love about Nintendo is their use of tech to create unique and memorable gaming experiences. Such is the case with Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. This one's the Mario version, but there's also one for Luigi, and you can use up to 4 together. There's a lot going on here, but to keep it short, it's pretty much an RC car that drives around a custom track that you create with these cardboard gates. You control it through the switch that looks through the camera on the cart that then reads those gates to bring that track to life with augmented reality, AR. It sounds more complicated than it is, but Nintendo does a great job at walking you through the whole thing. In-game, you have your classic modes, but there's also a lot of customization to either the race rules, the race track, your cart, and even the gates. There's more to it, which I'll cover in another video, but that's the gist of it. This thing works so well that it just feels magical, and it's by far the most unique way to play Mario Kart, even though my dog's not the biggest fan of it. Nintendo's flip cover for the Switch Lite became a favorite on day one, and since then, we've been wishing for a version for the original Switch, but when Nintendo don't, third parties will. This is the ProCase flip case. But first, a huge shout out to Diego, who first found it and brought it to our attention. Thank you so much. So to keep it simple, it's a run-of-the-mill protective case that surrounds the entire console with cutouts for all the essentials, except the IR reader and kickstand. On the back, it has textured grips and it's sadly not dock compatible. So nothing we haven't seen before except for this piece here, which is for their magnetic flip cover. It snaps right on, and this flexible hinge then drops the rigid cover on the front of the console with a clasp to keep it in place. On the front, we have a cross-stitched plastic exterior with these bumps that give the analog sticks room to breathe. And the inside is lined with a thin layer microfiber to protect the screen and buttons. So you just flip and play. But the magnets on here aren't that strong. Any quick, harsh movement can pop it right off. So you either want to hold it at the connection or just take it off and save it for when you want to put it away. Overall, it's not perfect, but it's close enough, and it's definitely a new favorite to take the Switch on the go. We missed out on 8BitDo's N30 arcade stick, but now they're back with a new one that drops the N30. This is simply their arcade stick. It's got the same retro-inspired NES aesthetic, and although it's smaller than a traditional fight stick, it weighs just as much, if not more, which helps keep it from moving around. So we have a traditional layout with a ball-top joystick that has satisfying micro switches, 8 slightly mushy buttons on the right, 2 dedicated macro buttons above, and all of those can be customized via their Ultimate software. Then on the top left here, we have knobs, switches, and buttons for options and settings such as mode switch that visually changes the layout, a control stick switch, pair, turbo, and home buttons, but sadly not one for capture. Then as you can see, it's wireless via Bluetooth or a dedicated 2.4 GHz dongle that's included and housed in this compartment at the top. But enthusiasts, don't worry, you can also use it wired with the included very long USB to USB-C cable. Finally, the quality of the parts are pretty good, especially at this price, but if you want to go further, it's also very mod-friendly, so you can easily upgrade them to your liking. That aside, so far it's been incredibly fun for retro games and fighters, and due to that versatility, it's become a new favorite. Breaking ranks from the traditional controller design is PDP's little wireless controller. At first glance, similar to 8BitDo's SN30 Pro, it's inspired by the OG SNES controller with a similar shape and that gray and purple color scheme from the US version. It's also, little, which makes it perfect to take on the go, and what's really impressive is that the layout isn't cramped. It actually fits well in hand with this extra spacing off the sides and a textured back to keep your grip. We have thin L and R buttons and short curved out triggers, large rounded face buttons, an awesome wide concave D-pad that's very precise, and full-size, tall and grippy analog sticks with a longer travel distance that works really well in shooters. That aside, it's also wireless with a 40-hour battery life that, unlike their face-off controllers, charges via USB-C. And the cherry on top, it also has motion controls. All that in this tiny package is what makes the little wireless controller a contender for one of the best new controllers we've used. This is PowerA's Nano Enhanced Wireless Controller, and it's the most adorable controller we've ever used. It's about 15, maybe 20% smaller than a regular controller, yet retains standard size buttons and controls, all of which my large hands can still easily access. On here we have smooth analog sticks, a textured and slightly concave D-pad, rounded face buttons that are a bit mushier than I'd like, nicely sized shoulder buttons, and curved out springy triggers. Then over on the back, we have 2 advanced gaming buttons that you can map other buttons to. Aside from that, it's wireless with a 20-hour battery life that charges via USB-C. It also has motion controls, which I personally love, especially for first-person shooters, but sadly, no rumble. And finally, it also comes with a pouch to take it on the go. I love this controller. This is such a fun size that remains functional with my large hands, but it's also one of the best options for those with smaller hands. PowerA is back with an updated line of their bags, along with a few new ones. All of these share the same design and materials with slight tweaks here and there. They're all brown and gray with highlight stitching and kind of reminds me of that worn, retro Star Wars aesthetic. New in their line is this elegant clutch bag with gold accents. Over on the back we have a thin mesh compartment, and next to it, D-rings for the included wrist strap. Then on the front we have this leatherish magnetically attached flap which hides 5 game card slots. Finally, we have the compartment for the Switch that is heavily padded down the middle to protect both the screen and analog sticks. No, it's not a disc binder, it's their new Folio case. This rigid, tough case can definitely survive a drop or two, and you can carry it with this large handle at the top. Inside, we have a tight mesh compartment for accessories, but nothing too large. Below that, we have half a flap with 7 mesh game card slots. And finally, we have a neoprene Velcro pouch for the Switch or Switch Lite. It's soft with a rigid back, so not that protective, but it's also removable from the case itself, so you can take this smaller pouch on the go with the option to carry it with a carabiner on this loop off the side, or the other one on the back with a strap or belt. PowerA's Everywhere Messenger is one of the bags we recommend the most for the Switch, and now it's back with a facelift. To carry it, we have that same large handle at the top, along with D-rings for the included shoulder strap. On the back, we have a flat pocket for your homework. Now inside, we have removable Velcro dividers. When they're all attached, we have a slot for something like a controller, next to that, one for the AC adapter, and this one for the official dock. But like I said, you can just remove these and use the space however you'd like. Now at the top left, similar as the Folio case, we have this detachable neoprene case for the Switch and Switch Lite. The idea being you can travel with the full Switch kit, but when you just want the Switch by itself, detach the pouch and take it on the go. So if you like the Everywhere Messenger but want something a bit smaller, they now have this transporter bag that's a little over half the size. At the top, it has the same large handle, flat zippered pocket on the back, and D-rings for the shoulder strap. The front flap is held shut by Velcro, which is both secure and a bit loud, so try to avoid libraries. Then behind the zipper, we have 8 mesh game card slots and a nicely sized accessories compartment. On the other side, we have cushioned Velcro compartments down the center to keep them safe in case of a drop. This top one is great for bulkier things like the AC adapter or power banks. And finally, we have the larger one for the Switch or Switch Lite. Now, this isn't an accessory, it's a brand. Super Rare Games, which caters towards collectors with exclusive and limited physical versions of indie games. They reached out to us and were kind enough to send us a copy of Darkwood, which is an awesome top-down horror game, and it came with a thank you card, a sticker, glossy trading cards, and inside the case, they actually make use of those clips with a booklet that has info on the game, along with artwork and tips. As a collector, I love everything about this, so show them some love. They have new releases every 3 weeks, but more importantly, they shine a light on some incredible indie titles and developers that can use your support. You'd think we'd stop at 101, but they just keep coming out with awesome new gear, and if that's not enough, we had to split this one into 2 episodes back to back, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. With that said, I'll hand it off to you. Let me know your thoughts on these. Let's talk in the comments. Also, if you're looking to pick up anything featured in this video and want to support us at the same time, please check out the affiliate links down in the description below. Once again, this is Sergio AM, and I'll see you for the next box.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to help us out, you can do so by clicking that thumbs up button. And while you're at it, why not subscribe for more content? It's free. We also love to hear you out, so please leave a comment down below or talk with us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm Sergio AM, and I'll see you for the next box.